Hello, everybody. Today is Tuesday, October 17th, year 2023, and you are listening to Survivor Circle. Our little, I forget, I can see that's working now.
Hope
So,
so.
um, our topic for today is we're going to go with a little bit more, a bit of humor. We're going to talk about Carlinisms. We've been talking, trying to come up with something that's interesting. We had a good show last week with horror movies,
Hmm.
and it's well, how about you don't get any good comedy these days? It's so bland, you know.
Hmm.
And said, well, oh god, I always loved Carlin. Carlin was my hero, man. And so I've got pages and pages of one-liners by George Carlin, and I figured that'll get us started, and we will see what we're doing. Uh, Here at the home front, I had a new, I'm just calling it my new great granddaughter, born
Yes.
last night about 10:30,
Yes.
and uh, if she's anything like her parents, we're all in for a hand. We're in for trouble.
Good.
Uh,
Good. Hmm.
so
That's what happens. I was really glad that no one said to me, I hope you have one like you.
hmm,
But I did. But he was the good
mhm.
version of me, not
Oh, okay,
not me. So
it's not. That's
anyway,
not a curse, darn it!
no,
It's
no, no.
just character, like
But
real character.
it is. And I think it's funny too that now he'll send me pictures of things that his daughter's doing. And
Yes. Oh,
he said, yes, I am the male version of you. She is the female version of him.
mhm.
And I'm like, oh God, you've had it.
That's there are certain characteristics that do very much tend to carry over. I know it. I see it. I see it. I saw it in my kids. I saw it in the next generation.
Oh yeah.
The third generation. It's still there. You
Yep.
know,
Doesn't go away.
especially if there's like the little twinkle in the eye
Yep.
when you know. uh, and the next youngest, James, says, "I need to see pictures."
Mm-hmm.
He just turned 1. I
Oh,
need to see pictures of that new baby.
holy cow.
Okay, you checking out the competition already? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely.
but that's just yeah,
Definitely.
I'm just but everyone's healthy and fine, and that's that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
That's good enough for me. Um, so let's see. So who were your favorite comedians through the day?
All the ones that my parents would have died if they knew I was listening to them.
I
Listen,
there were so many back in well I like in
there
those
really
early teen years I was in
was.
those were the 1960s.
Hmm. Well, there was
And
okay.
oh my God, they had Bill Cosby. He was
Oh,
the first breakout comedian
mhm.
to have like an album. Well, I mean, there may have been ones before, but he was the first like superstar album comedian,
Yes, yes.
And
Richard Pryor wasn't far behind
Noah,
him.
his Noah skit was just brilliant.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
there's
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
much of that. And okay, so he had some trouble later on, but hey,
Hey,
uh, who else? Cheech and Chong.
Richard Pryor was in there
Oh my God, Richard Pryor.
because
How
I
can it
can
get any better?
remember, and I say that my parents would have absolutely died had they known who I was listening to. But Richard Pryor, I mean, my brother knew frontwards and backwards,
Every every line.
and
Every
they
line.
never questioned any.
Eddie Murphy?
Yeah, I remember that, but they never questioned my brother because he would perform the whole Richard Pryor album, but he
Mhm.
cleaned it up.
Okay.
So it kept them in stitches. And
Yeah.
I was like,
And
if
they
I'd have
and they
told
and they
them,
never caught on?
oh no, they knew. But
Oh,
it for some reason it
it
was
was still
different
okay.
with
Yes.
him
Hmm.
than it was with me. I just didn't tell him. But yes, Eddie Murphy Raw, when it come out,
Oh.
uh, I can remember I was on a Girl Scout trip. It was early high school years,
Mhm.
and we were all on our way to Florida, and there were 3 vans of us.
Mhm.
Well, at the time that we got in the very back of the van and we were listening to the cassette, one of the girls' fathers was driving the van at that time. And he was like, "What are you all listening to?" And we were like, "Oh shit, we're in trouble now." He's like, "A comedy tape." He's like, "Who is it?" "Oh God, don't tell him." "Eddie Murphy. Bring it up here. I want to listen to it." And we were like, "Oh my God. We're gonna get to Florida and they're gonna put us in hotel rooms and we're never gonna be allowed to leave." And we turned that on and he laughed the whole and everything, and we were like, "Oh, phew, thank goodness." But yeah, we didn't break out any more of those.
I don't think I ever really had that kind of experience, but it was just and um I mean Sam Kinison,
Oh yeah, he was great. Yeah.
you know, there were so many, but
Mhm.
none of them from Stephen Wright.
You
Remember him?
know, yeah, I
He
do.
was he was kind of like second tier, but
Yeah.
oh my God, he cracked me up.
Mhm.
His totally flat,
Mhm.
deadpan demeanor
Mhm.
and the words that came out of his mouth were just like, oh my God, just knock your head off.
It was so Marco's saying that Raw came out. What was the one before that? Maybe it was the one before that.
Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. I don't know. I can't. I his he came out of Saturday Night Live
Yeah.
with Belushi and
Oh my
Chevy
goodness.
Chase,
So many great comedians.
and yes, but
My
I'm trying to think. I don't know I don't remember what his first one was.
mhm.
I remember some of his first skits. Ice Cream Man, or was
Yeah.
that
Ice cream. I'm gonna give me some ice
Ice
cream.
Cream? Yeah,
And
it was
the mama throwing the shoe.
Mama throwing the shoe.
Mhm.
Yes, that was.
But you know what? I listen to some of that stuff because it'll pop up on my feed every once in a while, and I'm like,
Mhm.
this shit's just not funny anymore. I mean, it's just
Oh,
it's just,
oh, that is terrible.
it's just not.
Because just before the show,
Mhm.
I pulled up George Carlin's uh, 1995 appearance on HBO,
I tell you what, George Carlin to
and
me
I was,
never gets old.
yeah, yeah, but and I don't know, maybe it's a lot of this stuff wasn't all that funny. He was
Mm-mm.
not to slap you. He was not an Eddie Murphy comedian.
No,
It
no.
wasn't a laugh. It wasn't a laugh out loud
Mhm.
kind of humor.
Right.
It was It was a wake your ass up kind of humor.
And pay
It
the
was
fuck attention to
get
what's
the
going on.
irony of the universe kind of humor.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
So But still,
Definitely.
just too many good one-liners to pass up.
He really did. And there was something that came through on my feed the other day, and I remember watching George Carlin when he first did that. And it
Hmm.
was like a cheer, but it's not one that I can repeat, nor I'm going to repeat on here. Um, but it was just the stuff that he came through with, because he didn't care who you were, he was going to call you out. He didn't care
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
color, nothing. He was calling
Yes,
you out.
because people are people need that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what humor is for, is to correct
Mhm.
people. You know, it's to
Yes.
point out the absurdity of what you're doing here. Or off you're off what you're often just stuck in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There
One of the
was,
things he said was, some people see things that are and ask why.
oh, yeah.
Some people dream of things that never were and ask why not.
And we're not allowed to
Some
do that
people just have
anymore.
to go to work and don't have the time for all that shit.
They make sure of that for sure. Yeah. Um, what was it? The he never okay, so back in when I was little, and I think this came on PBS, because that's when we had those antenna channels. We didn't have
Mhm.
cable. But there was a political comedian, and he said, and I know I've asked you this before, and I never
Mhm.
remember this man's name, but he was on a stage that rotated, and he had a piano in front of him.
That I think we decided that was Steve Allen.
Okay, I couldn't remember. But
Hmm.
anyways, Dad would watch him sometimes, and it was, to me, even being little, it was funny that somebody was picking on something like that,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
calling
He
that
used to cut
stuff
down
out.
politicians all the time. That was his. That
Yeah,
was
and it
part of
and
his
it
gig.
didn't matter who it was, just
Yes.
like George
Yes.
Carlin. He didn't care.
Hmm.
He absolutely did not care. Where nowadays, oh wow, you've got to,
Yes. You can't. There are too many
can't do that anymore.
sacred.
Yeah,
What's the word? Sacred cows. You know.
yeah.
Oh no, no, don't touch that. That's
Oh
that'll
yeah,
get you.
don't do
That'll get
that.
you. That'll get you. That'll get you canceled. Don't
Yeah,
don't don't do that. Don't say that.
oh yeah, exactly. But like you were talking about Saturday Night Live earlier,
Hmm.
I
Oh.
remember when they replaced all of the comedians every year.
Hmm.
Each show there were new comedians.
Yeah.
And each year you found this new wonderful talent that was out there, or you figured out who was just a dud,
Hmm.
and they didn't go anywhere after that. But if you were on SNL, you went somewhere after that. But then they got to the point where it's like they kept the same ones. Then Saturday Night Live wasn't funny anymore, and it quit being funny.
Hmm.
But I'll tell you the skit that I've seen. I've not watched it in years,
God, I haven't watched it.
but the one skit that I would love to catch live, if I could think about it,
Hmm.
they have this white guy. It's the news desk thing. They have a white guy and they have a black guy,
Hmm. Hmm.
and each one of them read a racist story about their opposite race. And it is the funniest shit I have ever seen in my life, because we're now to the point where you can't do that. But I
Hmm.
think Saturday Night Live has figured out,
A
I don't
way to do it.
I don't
Hmm.
care. I'm a joke's a joke and it's funny.
Yeah.
But yes, now they've
It's
made
right.
sure that they can do it.
It points out how absurd most of those kinds of
It
things that people
really
get
is.
upset about are.
It
You know,
really does.
like this one. Some people have no idea what they're doing, and a lot of them are really good at it.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right.
Okay. Never argue with an idiot. They will only bring you down to their level and beat you with experience.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. That is perfect.
Think how stupid the average person is. Then realize that half of them are dumber than that.
That's exactly right.
Oh, God.
George Carlin, he just always come up with just some great stuff.
Sometimes he was pretty serious.
He
I'll take
was.
this, and I'll take this one seriously. Don't just teach your children to read. Teach them to question what they read. Teach them to question everything.
Yes. We don't tell our children that because we have assumed all these years when they were in
Well,
school.
no,
That's what we
I
would do.
dare say I did. I got my son in a lot of trouble.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure.
Hey,
Yes.
the teacher told you what?
Hmm.
Here's what really happened.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Hmm.
Yeah, I really did that.
Hmm. Well, I know. Okay, but see, your
Yeah,
child
you know.
came to you and told you this
Hmm.
stuff.
Yeah.
I never did.
Oh.
I never did. I didn't care. And
Hmm.
this was the reason why. And I don't know why I don't know if you want to call it ability or if you would want to just call it just me. I learned what I did in school and took my tests on it, but I knew different.
Okay. Ooh, you compartmentalized all that
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think to me, that's kind of helped me in later life is because when I got into all of the paranormal stuff, I still had my regular life,
Hmm. Okay.
mom, wife, full-time job, two part-time jobs, a farm, and then, oh, here's the paranormal stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, get into all of this, review all the evidence, compile all this stuff, make notes, do all this, and it's like go to bed, and the next morning I get up and I'm like,
Oh, back to work.
back to work, deal with this later. So,
Yeah, we all do that to an extent. You know, I I think probably the best example I have is my, I mean, other than the normal homework kind
mhm,
of thing, was my union activities.
yes,
Okay, I go and say things that I wouldn't say in person to the people I worked for tomorrow. Okay, yeah,
right, yeah,
and it's okay. I didn't
mhm,
care, and I didn't care if they heard it. You know,
right, yeah,
but I'm not going to break protocol and do it in a way in person that would be disrespectful. You know, so
right.
yeah.
Well, I think it's funny we bring this up because um, the CEO and I had a discussion today
Ooh.
while we were getting coffee, and she's been divorced for many years. She's got two boys, they're military. They're at one time, I think one was on the West Coast, one was on the East Coast. But she's one of those personalities that overthinks everything. And she can get wound up in a moment and just get so carried off with it.
Hmm.
She goes home and then she starts thinking, her wheels start turning. I should have said this. I shouldn't have said that.
Mm.
I should have handled it this way. But she made the comment to me. She said, I miss being married because used to when I came home from work, work was work, home was
Hmm.
home. And she said, I don't have that
Ooh.
anymore.
Mm.
And I just kind of made the comment to her because she's a few years older than me, not a lot. But I told her, I said, I have gotten to where I am, to the point now at my age. I'm not going to go home and think, I should have done this. I should have said that. I said, I'm going to say it. You're going to deal with it. And we're going to talk about it later. I'm going to go home. I'm going to get my chores done. And then I am going to sit on my balcony and I'm going to drink bourbon. I'm going to look at the stars. And then I'm going to get ready for bed. I'm going to go to sleep. I'm
Mhm.
not going to run all that crap through my head.
Yes.
So I was like, if she wants to get married, I mean, and I get that. I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, sometimes you do miss coming home to
Mhm.
somebody else being here, but I enjoy where I am. I enjoy everything about it. So I'm sorry my partner's not here with me any longer, but he wouldn't have enjoyed it as much as I do now. You know, he just wouldn't do it. Look, Vivi showed up. Yay.
Waiting for a few of the other. Okay. I'll go for another one. Trying to be happy by accumulating possessions is like trying to satisfy hunger by taping sandwiches all over your body.
Right. It's got to get in. That is a good one. That is a very good one.
Whoa, that was. I gotta do something about this mouse. It goes crazy. It goes crazy. It goes clear to the bottom of the page. For
Wait, is it just
almost
because Venus showed up? Is that what's wrong with it now?
yes, the mouse got excited. That's
Yeah.
okay. We have multiplied our possessions, but reduced our values. We talk too much, love too seldom, and hate too often. We've learned how to
Mm.
make a living, but not a life.
Hmm.
We've added years to life, but not life to years.
Right.
So these
Very
are
good.
these are Carlinisms. They aren't all necessarily that funny, yeah. But those were bits of wisdom. I would love to. I have seen actors that went on stage and worked from the transcripts of Mark Twain, Samuel Clemens.
Uh-huh.
They used to present it like Chautauquas, on stage.
Mm-hmm.
It's little speaking engagements. And it would be so great to, okay, I'll hop in my time machine
Mm-hmm.
and go back and actually see that, meet that person, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I've read practically everything he ever wrote,
Oh,
you know?
wow. Yeah.
And just I'm thinking, and to none of his biographers. I mean, he was a very complex individual. I understand that just from his biographies.
Mm-hmm.
But none of the things that were going on in his life were in his work. You know, his
Mm-hmm.
work was all in his head. And I would like, man, I'd love to sit down and have a conversation with him. He's like one of my favorites.
Right.
I would do that if I could.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Carlin's another one.
Yes.
Actually, that would be. Of course, I would be totally awestruck. I would be like total nerve fanboy. Yeah. So it wouldn't have done me any good if I'd ever run across where he was. I do this real moron thing, and it's called thinking. And apparently, I'm not a very good American because I like to form my own opinions.
There
There's
you go.
a lot of us can identify with that these days.
Oh, yeah. He's not. I kind of classify him as one of those that was before his time,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
but he
Yeah.
couldn't say that now.
Well, he couldn't say it then either.
He did. He
I
made a
mean,
lot of money on it.
he got shut down a lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
but there was a lot
And
more that enjoyed him than
really,
not.
that's what created the college circuit,
Mm-hmm,
because the casinos and the places like that
mm-hmm.
said, you can't say that stuff. You're going to offend one of my benefactors. I can't have that.
Blah blah blah.
I mean, so they went out and they started doing their gigs at the colleges.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the guy that got
Kids
shut
loved
down? Who actually went to jail? The early comedian that went to jail for using the dirty words. Oh,
that one I don't
somebody,
know.
Goofy, help us, Goofy, help us.
It definitely wasn't Andrew Dice Clay. I can tell you that.
No, he was worse than Clay, but earlier. I can see Lenny Bruce. Thank you, Marco. Lenny Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Think.
Yes. So I mean, there's always been, if you're on the edge, an edgy comedy. Some of the people that were on like TV comics
Mm-hmm.
were in their gigs at the Don Rickles.
Oh yeah.
Don Rickles did his G-rated comedy skits on TV, but his nightclubs were really X-rated. They were okay. So
what about you said Don Rickles, Red Skeleton?
Oh, Red's not no Red Fox.
No, I'm not talking about him. This is a white guy. This is a
Red
white
Skeleton. The
guy.
clown. No, that was no, not Red Skeleton. Can't be.
I can't remember. No, Red Fox. No.
Okay.
I remember him. Definitely. And you know what? And that's what I thought was so funny. Sanford and Son, I thought was funny for some reason. And I don't know what it was with me when I was little, but it was like Mom didn't want me to watch stuff like that. And it wasn't bad. I think Mom was more, she didn't realize that I was too little to pick up on a lot of that stuff they were talking about. To me, it meant nothing. I didn't have a clue.
Oh, that's been going on for generations, though.
Yes, everybody does that. And you think your kids are going to pick up on that?
Do you remember?
Sex humor.
We've talked about cartoons before. Do you remember Betty Boop?
I do. Red Skeleton was always middle-aged white bread. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I remember him.
Yeah. But as a kid, watching Betty Boop was just kind of happy and funny. And you know what I'm saying?
Didn't mean anything.
To look at those same cartoons now
as an adult, yeah.
Oh, they were talking about the rights of women. They were talking about sex. They were talking about, kind of undesirable and the underworld of, living on the, a young actress getting caught up in the showbiz life. They were a little. It was risque.
Yeah,
but we didn't notice it.
Kids didn't pay attention to it. They didn't give a shit about it. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's like they kept talking about SpongeBob SquarePants was supposed to have been an Adult Swim cartoon, And it ended up somehow or another that I guess they
Wait,
cleaned it
wait.
up a little bit.
We're not going to get to the Teletubbies, are we?
I've never understood that. I've never, I never, they came on one time on TV because Dean was little then.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, the fuck is that? And you can't even understand them. Turn the
No.
fucking channel. I'm not even dealing with
Wait a
that.
minute. What was the? Oh, what was the Saturday morning cartoon with the dog? It was like Teletubbies, only it was four dogs, four dog-faced humans, clowns.
Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah.
That I never did see.
Banana Splits. Don't remember
Hadn't
that
heard
one? Okay.
I don't remember that at all.
I know because they had that little ATVs with six wheels on or three wheels on each side that you drove like a bulldozer. And those things. I never had one of those, but I've seen them, and they are as cool as they looked on TV.
Oh, I bet. I bet. No, I don't ever. I've never even heard of that. So
Okay.
just me completely before.
But it was the same kind of. It wasn't as off the wall as Teletubbies, but it was close. It was going to that direction. Okay, fighting for peace is like screwing for virginity.
Yeah, you're right.
George said it better than I could ever say.
Oh yeah.
Well, if crime fighters fight crime, and firefighters fight, and firefighters fight fire, what do freedom fighters fight?
Exactly.
I'm taking this one to heart, absolutely, myself. I have lots of ideas. The trouble is, most of them suck.
Yeah, that's true. It's like I have a plan. It'll probably fail, but at least I have a plan.
It was my plan, damn it.
It's my plan.
I could have picked. I think I've got a picture in my file of this one.
Okay.
I like it when a flower or a little tuft of grass grows through a crack in the concrete. It's so fucking heroic.
Oh yeah.
You know? And I have that picture of the flower that's growing in the middle of a road, just that one stalk. You see?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that tells you important things.
Or the tree that starts growing up through the sidewalk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Religion is like a pair of shoes. Find one that fits you, but don't make me wear your shoes.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I thought about how mothers feed their babies with tiny little spoons and forks. So I wondered, what do Chinese mothers use? Toothpicks?
Yeah, exactly.
Meow means woof in cat.
Yeah, there you go.
Is a vegetarian permitted to eat animal crackers?
Oh, I remember that one. That was funny.
Oh my God, yes.
Lily Tomlin. She
Did
was
she
good.
do the operator?
Yes.
Lily Tomlin? Yes. Oh my God.
And she also was the one that would sit in that great
Edith
big
Ann?
rocking chair.
Edith
Ann.
Ann?
Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. My mother still referred to that anytime she sat in a chair.
Mm-hmm.
Because mom went from being 5'2" to like 4'11", And she's
Uh-huh.
like, I can't sit in that chair. I feel like Edith Ann. Can't do it.
Yes. Hmm.
I don't even remember what those skits even said. I just remember her as the operator, and I remember Edith Ann.
Hmm. She did. Oh gosh, Emily Littell. Didn't she do Emily Littella?
I don't know.
Oh, that was that. Oh, well, she did the news, like a news report with. She'd do a commentary for Chevy Chase, and like on the end of a news show, and she
Oh,
would be talking about. Oh God, there's so many.
mm-hmm.
Oh well. Anyway, well, I love those. They were just great.
Yeah, they were great.
Okay. Okay, we're down to my last 10, the 10 best.
Okay.
And that was the crime fighters. Oh, okay. If crime fighters fight crime and firefighters fight fire,
Mm-hmm.
what do freedom fighters fight? They
Right.
never mentioned that part to us, do they?
No. Uh-oh.
The weather forecast for tonight, it's dark.
Yes. Yes.
Most people work just hard enough not to get fired and get paid just enough money not to quit.
Yep. Yep. That's about right too. Still true to these days.
Just because you got the monkey off your back doesn't mean the circus has left town.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're born, you get a ticket to the freak show. When you're born in America, you get a front row seat.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
I'm all for this one. May the forces of evil become confused on the way to your house.
Yeah. Hey, that's why we burn sage and do tobacco offerings,
There
right?
you go. There are nights when the wolves are silent and only the moon howls. I've never heard that from him, but I liked it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Have you ever noticed that anyone driving slower than you is an idiot?
Mm-hmm.
And anyone driving faster than you is a maniac.
Yep. That's right.
Inside every cynical person, there is a disappointed idealist. Ah, yeah, that was me.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm a disappointed. I am far too cynical, and I'm certainly a disappointed idealist.
Yep.
Don't sweat the petty things, and don't piss the sweat.
Sweaty things. Ah, yeah. That is so true.
Oh my God. But
That's like at work. They've got this the medical part of where I work, they've got a saying that says if it's wet, sticky, and doesn't belong to you, don't touch it. Just
Yes.
leave it alone.
Good rule.
Yeah.
Good rule.
Yeah.
If you don't know what it is, don't eat it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a favorite of mine too. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially when someone says, "Here, try this." What is it? Just try it first. Nope.
You know, if they can't tell you what it is, it's going to be It's either going to be hot or cold or
something
spicy
disgusting.
or sour, terrible. And yes,
Yeah. Yeah. No. I'm not. Phew.
oh, yes. Oh. Why we keep clicking at the same time?
We do. Uh-oh. The next one scares the shit out of me. We remote viewed your house from your woods. Does that count for something? If so, what? I would say you were pretty bored because there's not a lot that goes on here. Except that one time at band camp.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we see.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some interesting things that happen here at time to time, but then I go fix it
Hey,
later.
look. Come here.
Oh no, this is perfect, Andy. Remote, yeah, remote
Yeah.
stalking. Yeah.
Come here. Come here. All right.
Maybe I enjoy that, V. Why would I say that? I might like it. Oh, there's Max. Hi, baby.
Snacks.
Hi, baby.
Get your snack.
He's like, nope, I'm done. Pet me. We're done talking. Pet me.
Just wanted to check in. Just wanted to check in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a good boy. Good boy.
Sweet baby. I think that's a lot of what this is something that's always amazed me is that's an animal.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they even care about us?
Yeah.
I've
Really?
never.
Okay, and here's the thing. It's got plenty of food and water. It's got a warm place, a nice bed, dress. But he comes in and checks on me almost every time. Every time I do a show.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And like, who the hell is he talking to?
You're right. Who's that crazy
or
woman?
he hears your voice and says, "Oh, that's Maria."
Yeah.
She's the one that calls me a good puppy.
Mm-hmm. Sweet baby boy.
Ooh. Oh God.
Well, there's a story behind that, but anyway.
Yeah. Yep, undress on the porch.
Yeah, as well.
I don't think it fell. Nope, never.
Not when it's cold outside. That ain't happening.
Yeah, especially. Oh my God.
There might be some sunbathing things that happen
Mm-hmm.
back here, but that's about it. That's when it's hot outside. I'm not doing it during the winter.
So actually, it's getting a little chilly here, and somebody told me in the mountains of South North Carolina it was actually snowing today.
I think it kind of did.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, it wouldn't be that out of the ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
But we are a week and a half before Halloween. So
Yeah, this is true.
getting close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not that far off. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Leatherly tentacles. Sticky. Sticky.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, usually at this time the sun's still out, and here it is.
Yeah.
It's 6:14 where I'm at, and
it's cold. And it's getting dark, and the trees are changing colors.
Of course, it's been cloudy all day, yesterday and today. Yesterday it was the highs were only in the 50s, and it either drained or there was a drizzle.
Yeah, it rained here today too.
Yeah, and today it's just been cloudy the whole time, but it supposedly got up to 60 degrees. Well, whatever.
Couldn't prove it by you, huh?
Nope. I've got my little heater on right now, blowing a butter on my feet. But
so let's see.
But it's all good. I went to bachelor party last night.
Were you working?
Well, I was wondering when I got the invite, and I'm like, am I supposed to be? But no, anyway, my best friend, he was getting married, and his brother had decided to throw just some kind of little party for him. I mean, the man's never been married. He's 9 years younger than me, 6 years. Anyways, he's in his 40s,
Okay.
never been married.
Oh,
And he's finally found the one, and she's a wonderful lady.
well,
And
good.
she's got about as much mental illness as he does, so they match perfectly. It
Oops.
meshes very well. And so, anyways, his brother had just decided to have some little small something for just best friends and a couple of coworkers. So, um, yeah, I didn't get home till like 11 o'clock last night, which for a bachelor
That's
party,
late
that's
for
pretty
you.
good. Yeah, and for me, it was very late. So yeah, it's like I walked up the steps, laid on the couch, and went to sleep because I'm like, I'm going to get 6 hours of sleep, and that's all I'm going to get if I go to sleep right now. So,
Mhm.
but it's a good time. I really enjoyed the fact that, um, I mean, like I said, we've been friends for years, and
Mhm.
I've watched every bit of crap that he's gone through, and a lot of it was brought on himself.
Mhm.
But that one girl got his attention and kept his attention. And so,
And put up with him long enough to
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yes. You see, it takes both sides working together
Mhm.
to grow together.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
Yeah. So, and they're getting married this Saturday. So
Wow.
I'm actually going to go to a wedding, and I just love it. And the best part about it is my son and his wife anniversary was
Mhm.
yesterday, 2 year anniversary. And the girl that my best friend is marrying married them.
Well, oh boy.
So
Good thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
keep it in the family, baby. So
Okay. I want to. Anybody want to put in for CT's poll?
oh Lord, here we go.
Who are there among you who would take a bite from the proverbial apple on the tree of life, tree of knowledge or good and evil? I said, damn right, I'd be selling a path. I'd eat the whole damn tree.
Well, isn't that the same thing as taking the red pill or the blue pill?
Pretty much, I think. Pretty
All
much.
right, hang on
Uh,
just a minute. I got to show
I,
you
I
this
always
real
I always
quick.
said the problem was they didn't eat enough, you know, because lots of philosophers have said a little knowledge or a little wisdom is a dangerous thing, you know.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You see that?
Yes.
Okay, I have the door open so
Hmm.
she can come in and out if she wants,
Hmm.
but she wants treats.
Yes, you know, if she comes out, that's
I'm
not going
not
to
going
get
to
her
give her
get
treats.
done. Yeah,
So she's going to do that
you
at the
just sit
window
there and scratch at the window.
until I go give her treats. So I'll be right back.
Okay. Let me see what else we got going on. The pets and kids and comedy routines and yeah. I was actually surprised yesterday. I was listening to Peter Robbins' show, and he had a guy on, and they were talking about some other things, but they got off towards the end. They got into a discussion of Sitchin's work. You know, the whole ancient astronauts created humanity as a slave race to mine gold thing. And about 99% of that, I say, there's just no way. It just doesn't make any sense. But since this guy was a psychiatrist, he says, it almost seems like back in that time, that era, when we started creating cities and that type of culture, one of the things that it's almost a shared trauma. Okay. And a trauma from what? Well, possibly a trauma from being enslaved by a superior race that came down out of the sky. And sometimes that would make a lot of sense. But I'm still keeping that deeply in the gray basket. Because I just don't know. I just don't know. And the thing is, there is evidence of the sort that points to that, but I really want a smoking gun, and I don't think that'll ever. I want to find a Vimana. I want to dig up a Vimana. Ooh, wait a minute. According to Bob Lazar, they did, right?
Mm-hmm.
They dug up a flying saucer out in the desert that's been there for thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep. We're never going to be privy to that.
Yep. And the heartening part of it, and V understands what I'm saying, is if you look at if you are suffering by a species-wide trauma, you cannot address it until you figure it out, until you can identify it,
Mm-hmm.
So from a psychologist's point of view,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, use that for a working theory, because Lord knows we're all traumatized,
Oh yeah.
I can't. I don't like to think that we are naturally traumatized, but maybe we are.
Well, I mean, trauma goes to the individual.
Yes. Most of it is the circumstances. The circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
And individualized. Okay.
Right.
It's nasty parts of our own particular story.
Mm-hmm.
But since we're all 99.9% the same
Mm-hmm.
genetically, maybe there's something going on there. I don't know what it is, but
you can have 3 children and raise them all the same, and then they all have different outcomes.
Yes, that's true. That is true too. And I suppose I have a kind of an explanation for that.
Mm-hmm.
If you believe in a soul having past lives in this experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I do not believe. Oh, according to the physics that they've deciphered from the new space telescope.
Oh, James Webb.
Time actually passed slower.
Yeah.
I think like 5 times as slow in the early universe than it does now, because of it was so small.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it came from originally from nothing, and
Mm-hmm.
expand it into something immensely large.
Yeah.
When it was in that early process of expansion, it was still so dense
Mm-hmm.
that the gravity of it was such that it slowed time down. It's like if you have a clock that's on the surface of the Earth
Mm-hmm.
and a clock that's in orbit,
Mm-hmm. It's going to
your
be
clock
different.
is going to be running slower
Mm-hmm. Right.
because of because it's inside the gravity well.
Right. Right.
So it makes sense, but now they have like I guess experimental verification of that.
We're not privy
So
to that info.
it's okay. But getting back to my original point,
Mm-hmm.
time over there, time on the other side of the veil,
Mm-hmm.
isn't this. I don't think it's the same as time here.
No, not
And
at all.
I think on the other side, we can move from place to place and
Mm-hmm.
place to time to time to time,
Right.
just as easily as we move from room to room here.
Yeah.
So
There you go. How does the factor into the perception of distance being relative to the perceiver's concept of size?
do, 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 do. Uh, no, it's not. It's not a perception thing. It's not. It's not an observer. What is? Ooh, it is a phenomenon of the observer, because we're always going to be seeing it from the. But there is no special observer. There's no preferred observation point, especially when we're talking about we're looking back in time
Mm-hmm.
pretty much at the entire universe. So yeah, weird. It's like my brain just exploded, you know? It's like no matter which direction we look, okay,
Mm-hmm.
we're looking into the past.
Mm-hmm.
So if we look deep enough into that, every direction we're looking goes back to an original point.
Mm-hmm.
So just because it looks like it's over there, or it looks like it's over there, or it looks like it's not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's really back then, and back then, but it was all when it was back then, it was all in one place. That's just mind exploding.
Have you seen the recent? There was a recent picture that they supposedly posted from the James Webb Telescope
Mm-hmm.
that proved that there is time warping, and you could see it with the galaxies in the picture. Now, to me,
Gravitational lenses.
it
No.
was you could see. So, like, it took a picture of all these galaxies that were out
Yes.
there, and you could see where some of them were like straight, and then it warped up,
Yes.
or some of them were this way. To me, that's just because it's way the hell over there.
Yes.
And
It's
what it's
distorted.
seeing, it's going to be distorted,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. Just
How
looking at
long is the the Webb telescope has only been working for it's been less than a year. I think its first images came out in February, so that's 9-10 months best.
Mhm.
No, not even that. 7 months. In 7 months, they have changed the things that they are seeing is changing our concept of
Mhm.
how the universe works.
Mhm.
That's pretty amazing. You know, wait, give it 5 years.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, don't show me a picture of, and yes, it wasn't just a round whatever, it was
yeah,
straight out and then it looped up.
see, the
As
thing
far
of
as I know, that's a fuck up in the lens or something, you know?
yes, yes,
Don't
yes,
show me a picture of it. But they put that stuff out there and people look at it and go, ooh, yeah, there's the proof.
yeah. But see, that's the
Mm-mm.
the people that get really excited are the astrophysicists and the mathematicians
Mm-mm.
because some of them have already thought about this stuff a
Oh, yeah.
lot, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and played what if games with the math. And
Mm-hmm.
they've got 10 different pathways that they could go down, you know.
Right.
And now they're saying, oh well, my idea that I had about this looks good if we go down this path,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a good thing. It gives us a deeper, but most of it is you're not going to see it in the pictures, you know.
Right. Right.
It's all in the math, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But I wonder, you know, I've got my own little kinks in the idea. Okay,
Okay.
I don't think, and as simply as I can put it, I don't think space is the same here as it is there, where we're looking at that.
Oh, yeah.
The
No.
actual the actual properties
Mm-hmm.
of nothingness. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
the nothingness. If you take away the air and you take away the the radiate the sun, the light, and you take away everything, what do you have? If you take everything away, so that
Mm-hmm.
you have this volume of space
Mm-hmm.
in which there is absolutely nothing. Okay, what do you have, and what are its properties?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
well, if I put a photon in this side, it'll take 11th of a millisecond to get to the other side. Okay, well, that's the speed of light in this particular volume.
Right.
Okay, it'll do if I throw a grain of sand, it'll go through and it'll go in a straight line, or it'll go in a curved line, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
All those things will give you the innate properties of empty space. We
Mm-hmm.
know some of those, but I don't think we know all of it. Because I think there are wrinkles and all kinds of things in that space
Mm-hmm.
in in special circumstances.
Yes.
Or maybe we're just not looking at it the right way.
Right.
It's like we're fish trying to look at the water. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen.
Ah,
He's being a shithead.
nothing is not nothing. Of course it is. You just take the other whatever the thing is you find and take it out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then you've taken nothing from nothing and you have a higher quality of nothingness.
Ooh, don't think too deep on that one. That's like,
Yes, yeah, it'll make your hair fall out.
definitely.
Yes, exactly,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. That's when it starts getting really, really complicated. Bats.
Well, you know, it's like if you take two negatives, it doesn't make a positive. And you can put a positive and a negative together, and it doesn't make a positive.
Mm-hmm. Necessarily.
So where do you go from there?
Yeah, okay. I'm still working on the chicken.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you got anybody got any of those apples?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think I think Vivi ate it and she pitched the core. So
Wait, apple was apple. What's the what are the? It's not Apple Jack. Supposedly, there's a new moonshine, apple flavored moonshine that's really really good.
well, I hope it's better than that apple pie moonshine.
Oh yeah,
Ugh.
no,
If you
not
like apple pie, if you like sweet drinks, go for it. You're going to love it because it
really.
tastes like, if you get the right one, it
Mm-hmm.
tastes like apple pie.
Hmm.
Tastes like you're drinking apple pie. But I don't care
I don't
for,
like sweet.
ugh, God,
I don't
no.
like sweet
I don't want something that
drinks
sweet
either.
at
Yeah,
all.
the bouquet and the flavors are good,
Mhm.
but the palate doesn't work very well with.
Now
That's like,
I had a moonshine made by Tyler Wood,
mm-hmm.
and it was he just brought in a can of peaches, jar of
Okay.
peaches, but it was all in moonshine.
Mm.
And holy,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you talk about, and I mean they were real peaches; they weren't the canned crap. Anyway, you talk about the best. That's the best moonshine I've ever had in my life. If you ever get some of Tyler Wood's moonshine,
Okay.
that's the best. It's not this stuff you get
So
over.
it had the flavor didn't overpower the drink, is what you're
Correct.
saying.
Correct.
And if the apple pie is obviously overpowered.
To me, it is. To me,
Yeah.
it is because
Mm-hmm.
if I want to eat an apple pie, I'm gonna eat an apple pie. I don't want to drink that because it's so. I mean, that's a dessert. That's very
Yeah.
very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
The peaches that he brought, it was just like you were eating fresh peaches,
Mm-hmm.
but don't eat more than two slices. So, because that's some awesome
This is
moonshine.
the that's like Jack Daniels.
Mm.
Jack Daniels is like a liqueur or yeah. I don't like that. It's I don't and like lime vodka or any like syrupy liqueur. I could never. Yeah, it was okay, but not my taste.
Well,
Give me
and as to
give me
Ufi's,
that bite.
yeah, as to Ufi's thing, I'm not gonna screw up my bourbon.
I see that way in with bourbon you get a clash of flavors. You know, you get
Already,
the
yes,
sweet
you
flavor
do.
is clashing with the bourbon, the wood and the that's a
Yes, and that's one of my favorite
that's a
things is
thing.
getting all of these different bourbons.
Mm-hmm.
And when you first take a taste,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to decide whether or not it's too harsh, you don't like it, or whatever. At that point, once you swallow it and the aftertaste you have, that's when you pick up all those different fragrances,
Ah, yes.
whether it's the vanilla or it's the smoke or
Mm-hmm.
some kind of little something else that they've hidden in there. And that's, and also, I mean, it depends on how long it's aged. It depends on its
Mm-hmm.
proof. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't, there are some good 100 plus proof bourbons out there,
Mm-hmm.
But I really like that. I like the smooth taste of anything that's below that. Now, I
Okay.
don't want it to be below 80 proof at all,
Hmm.
uh, because that kind of takes the bite out of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know when I decided that I liked bourbon so damn much that I wanted to get little tastes of all of it. But last night, I mean, man, there's so many out
Ooh.
that a lot of people don't know about. I had one
Mhm.
that was had been aged 10 years,
Okay.
and that was a lot more proof. It was more than 80 proof, but it was so smooth.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm. So ET just needs to visit Earth for bourbon. Yes, Kentucky's the only place those bastards need to come to. This is the place. We have plenty of bourbon to share.
I'm trying to think.
They
I,
might
I,
find a
you
new
know,
fuel.
I think that's why I liked Scotch.
Yes.
It was simple. It had a flavor. And every Scotch, every brand of Scotch has its own distinct. It's all Scotch,
Yes.
but they each have their own particular flavor. You know.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes. But
Yep.
now, if you put them all in a glass and said, pick which one is this brand or
Hmm.
whatever, I can't do that.
Ah. Okay.
I don't want to be one of those going, oh, well, this has to be this certain brand or whatever. But oh, that is so true. If life is harder than you drink, it ain't strong enough. You're right. This is so true. But now I'm not one of those that's going to buy $200 or $300 bottle of bourbon to drink either. I'm
Yeah.
not going to spend that amount of money
That's kind of
on a perishable.
an elitist kind of thing. You know.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're making it pricey because it's rare.
Mm-hmm.
If it was, I don't know. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's exclusive. It's, you know, no, that's not the point. That's
No.
not the that's not the point of a good recipe
Mm-hmm.
is one that you want out there out there in the public. You don't want a good recipe to be exclusive. Oh, it was only ever used once in 1980, and then we
Oh
burned
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. No,
It's like, oops, we found one barrel
yes,
of
we want
whiskey
found one barrel that for
that was,
some reason,
yeah,
maybe maybe there was
it was shoved in the
maybe there,
corner.
maybe there was a dead rat in it
Mm-hmm.
that just changed the hint of the flavor. Yes, it made it so smooth. We don't know what it was, but
Yeah.
we can sell this for $600 a bottle.
If politicians were to endorse a drink, what would they call it? The screwdriver. They already have one out there.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yep.
yeah.
They already have it out there,
Mm.
baby.
Oh my God. I'm sure I don't know what it is, but it's something that would leave you with a hell of a hangover.
Depends on how much screwing you did with that driving.
Mm. Oh my
Oh,
God.
that goes along with that
Yes.
conversation I had with my boss this morning. I'm just going to say it. I'm not, no longer am I going to like tiptoe.
Mhm.
I'm also to the point, it's like if you can say something to me, if you
Mhm.
can ask me a question, then my
you best
warning,
better have you best better have your belt tightened up and be ready to hear the answer.
Yes. So the warning label I should wear every morning is don't ask if you don't want to know. Because I'm going to spew it out, and it's not going to be hateful. It's not going to be mean. It's not going to be anything like that. I'm just going to tell you.
And it's not gonna, but it's not gonna be sugar coated either.
No,
Yes.
no. Mm-mm. And I think we all, New Yorkers have that down. Why the fuck can't the rest of us have that shit down? You know, it's like we've got this Southern hospitality thing, but it does end at a certain point. You know, I mean, we do draw the line.
I think the Southern hospitality ends when you take your shoes off.
Mm-hmm. This girl goes barefoot as much as she can anywhere I'm at. Only because my feet hurt really bad sometimes, and if I have shoes on, and I've been walking and moving a lot.
Yep.
I'm taking my shoes off. And sorry, they got to recuperate a little bit.
As I sit here in my sandals or my moccasins.
Yeah, exactly.
Moccasins. All the 80% of the time they're in my moccasins.
Oh no.
And you know what? My feet don't hurt anymore.
Well, you know, when you get the comfort and support you need, we're all better people. And that's not just with your fucking shoes. That's with everything. But that's like, no, I'm barefoot now. As soon as I got walk in the door.
Doc, it hurts when I do this. Well, stop the fuck doing that.
Yeah, stop doing it. I literally had a doctor to tell me that one time. I was like, yeah. He's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, it only hurts when I do this. And he said, well, stop doing that. And I said, okay.
Oh, God.
Write me a prescription for that and I'll take it to work. But yeah, no, I come home from work, shoes go off. I mean, I'm barefoot. And if I can get down to the grass, that's where I'm going. That's right. Support's not just for shoes and bra. You're exactly right, sister. Yeah. We've had a good show. We're doing better with keeping it light. We need ideas, people. What's that email address there, Charles? Send your topic ideas.
I got into something this morning, and I'm sure everybody knows more about it than I did. Do you remember? Have you ever heard that back before they had tape recorders, they had wire recorders?
Yeah.
Where they recorded sounds on wire, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was in the early 40s, in the early 40s until the early 50s when they developed the magnetic tape, Mylar tapes. I'd heard about those before, and they were like super high-end stuff. I mean, nobody had one. It was governments had it. The CIA had it. The FBI had it. You know, no normal people didn't have that stuff. And I always had and I've been reading Cheryl Costa's stories as she puts them up on Facebook.
I miss all of her postings. I can't.
Ooh, you got to stay with it.
Plug in my computer. Just a second.
Okay. But anyway, what they found a reel, or a number of reels of that old recording wire. And they were looking at the possibilities of getting the recordings off of that wire. And I thought, I wonder if that would even, if it would stay. Because I know nothing about what a wire recorder actually looks like, or how well what the longevity of that media is. It turns out it's pretty darn good. And you can actually but what I didn't know is the wire that they use is just a little bit less a little bit bigger than a human hair. I had no idea. I assumed it was something like, I don't know, like the braid, like the wire you get in a braided, like an extension cord or something. Okay, probably a millimeter. No, it's like 1/100th of a millimeter.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, and it's coded in magnetically. Okay, to, like, instead of the grooves in your radio, in your record on vinyl, it's coded in magnetic pulses on the wire.
Yeah.
I thought, well, wouldn't the magnetic field bleed into the wire over a period of, apparently not when stored.
Right. Yeah. That's just like them discovering that they can take ancient pottery
Yes.
and put a needle to it, like
Yes.
you would a vinyl record,
Yep.
and you'll hear the sound of what was going on while that pottery was being made.
Yes.
Conversations,
But
things like that.
what really got me about that is then I got on the internet and I said, okay, well, I'm sure this stuff's around, and there have to be. It turned out there's a museum, or well, it was in Indiana. It was posted in Indiana, but they found a lot, a giant archive of these. Some of it was like cultural music, and all kinds of reports and things from that era in China. Okay, and so they got these tapes. Then they had to find a recorder from the time to play them on. And they practically had to rebuild. They took the museum samples that they had and whatever they could find, okay, and rebuilt it to make sure that it still worked the way it was supposed to work. Don't know how they did that, but they did. And then they started looking at the reels, and some of the reels had gone haywire, and it looked like a fur ball. And they were taking toothpicks to straighten the wire. I mean, you've done fishing line, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's seen what it looks like when a reel goes crazy on a fishing line and you have a big ball. Imagine that in hair fine steel wire. And they meticulously picked those apart and unknotted them and got them back on the reels. See, that's crazy stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But they're doing it, and now they can take those old cultural records, recordings, and digitize them, and they're going to be around forever that way.
Oh yeah.
Or at least for a while. Nothing's forever.
Oh yeah.
Go find a 3.5 CD drive. From your computer.
Too bad.
3.5,
Oofy's asking about
4 meg.
Oofy's asking about the pottery that I was referring to. And it's
some of the grooves were ornamental.
well, it's like
Mhm.
they put that's kind of what they did. If they when they were making it, if you wanted a groove in it, it's if you had a piece of metal or whatever, and you wanted it to go around, because it's spinning as you're going up with it. It's recording that energy, that time, that speech of things, whatever's happening. If you're completely silent while you're doing this pottery, that's all you're going to
You
hear.
can still hear the screech, screech, screech in the pottery wheel.
Yeah.
If
But
that's all you get, that's all you get. Yep.
if you can find whatever it was that Demi Moore was making in the movie Ghost, you never know what you're going to hear in that one. Just saying. But that was something that they had just found. So I didn't dig too deep into it. Yeah. That's right. There you go. Andy needs to learn how to do pottery, and he needs to do his art stuff, his art promos.
There you go.
In through that. So in 1,000, 3,000 years from now, when they find Andy's little piece of pottery and they learn how to listen to it, it'll be talking about on the
all they
radio.
hear is Trudy barking.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Hey, that's perfect too. Yeah. That's perfect too. So, but everything that that can hold energy keeps it. That's why we have residual hauntings. There's something about that energy, that place, that space, that time.
Well, we're talking about different technologies, and I'm still waiting to hear how does a ghost embed a signal into a digital recorder.
Right.
When obviously the entity that was the ghost didn't know how a digital recorder works,
Well, I don't think they care. I think it's the frequency that they're at.
Yes.
They don't know what a digital recorder is.
Right.
And that's like, okay, so two, how is it that I can have a recorder in my hand? I can hear by my ear what they have just said to me, but my recorder doesn't pick it up.
Yes.
That happens a lot too. So we're never going to know. We're never going to know. And if somebody told us, we ain't fucking listening to them anyway, just like we do with UFOs. Makes you wonder if all the torture techniques from long ago were merely, dude, I'm saying. We need to experiment, V.
Oh, please.
Let's get our techniques. You give me a list, I'll give you a list. We'll go, we'll come back and compare notes.
Such ambition. Yes.
Hey, don't leave any stone unturned.
That's true. You never know what's going to be under the rock.
That's right.
Till you look.
It might be a snake. It might be a gold nugget. You never know. Let's see there. Okay. Charles, you're thinking too much.
I can't help it.
Surprise.
It's my thing. There it is.
just kind of think that they speak at different wavelengths, different frequencies, and it just depends on what electronic device that you have is going to pick it up. Fee says, I bet you get that a lot, Charles. You think too much.
I do. Here's the rat's nest
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
recording wire, and this is a toothpick. This is a tooth. This is a toothpick, and just it looks like the leavings out of a hairbrush, and you've got to untighten and unkink and straighten that out and put it back on the reel. Those people in that museum or whatever they were doing that with are not getting paid enough. And I ran Maria off, or she went to get. Anyway, when is okay? Get rid of that. It's distracting me.
Yeah, you didn't run me off. Sorry.
That's okay.
My daughter-in-law sent me a message.
Oh,
Every time she sends me something, I try to read it because it's family. I don't know what's going on. So
there you go. So it's just been so much. I like this atmosphere
mm-hmm.
better. So we just have to get some more. I didn't do. I think this was an easy topic
Oh
to
yeah.
actually work on,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I think I can get back to that. I think we can do more of this. So people, send us your ideas. Anything you can
So
come up with.
what's that email address? SurvivorsCircle 99 at
SurvivorsCircle 099 at gmail.com.
Mhm.
And I do check it from time to time.
Yeah.
Or just slap it in the YouTube comments. We can get we can get the ideas there too. Because I get a notice on that.
There you go, V. Yeah, that's kind of us.
You're easy, V. We love.
Yeah.
That's why we love you.
She enjoys it too. That's okay.
What was I was going to bring up with you for you, V?
Mm-hmm.
We had a conversation. Had to be about a month ago now, about Doc Smith's books and the Lensman series. I am in the middle of rereading all those.
Mm-hmm.
After at least 40 years from the time I read it the first time. And I'm not disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
There are things in those books that I didn't get the first time around.
Mm-hmm.
And there are things that are as interesting, as insightful in some areas as if it were written last week.
Mm-hmm.
And that in itself is kind of interesting. When you look at something that was, I guess it shouldn't really, but it does. It strikes me as very interesting, because things that I said, oh yeah, that could never happen, and it's happened, and is happening. You say, oh, okay. So
Everybody said that when they read 1984 as well. And
oh God,
ta-da.
that's one. Uh,
Mhm,
so there's a lot of that stuff. Yes, insightful and relevant to the commentary. That's for sure.
yep.
So I guess I'm going to have to go back. There are a few books that I have read that I go back to that I've read again and again.
Mhm,
Uh, Frank Herbert's Dune series is one of those.
mhm,
And every time I go back to that book, I read it, it's a whole. It adds richness to the story.
mhm,
Uh, I didn't put Doc Smith's stuff in that category,
mhm,
but by golly,
mhm.
I guess it's all in the preparation and the sight of the person that's reading the message.
Mhm.
Ooh, insightful ancient. Oh, actually, how far back can we go? You know, do we go? Can we go back to the Romans? Uh,
Shit. If y'all do a show about stuff that
Plato.
far behind, I'm
Plato.
out.
Let's do Plato. Let's do the Iliad and the Odyssey. Let's do.
You'll have to
See, and
find you
the thing
another
with some of that, the thing with
co-host
some
for
of that,
that evening because I don't go that far back.
uh, there are some books that I'd probably like to go back and read that I'm sure I could find a copy somewhere, but I was thinking actually of a book that I read probably in 1970 or so,
Mhm,
which was Megatrends, which was a, I don't know, philosopher or whatever, looking at the curve of progress from that time
mhm,
and trying to expand that into the future
mhm.
as megatrends. I'd like to go back. I guess I have to dig up a copy of that and kind of give them a grade.
There you go.
You know,
Mhm,
uh, there are a lot of, and I will say, since I'm a science fiction fiend, uh, there have been. It's almost been a practically an annual thing.
mhm.
Certainly a decade, every decade, they'll get a group of well-known science fiction authors together and say, "Well, what do you think's going to come next?"
Mhm.
And what do you think? What do you think? And ordinarily, their forecasts have been unuseful. Things
Oh,
that they thought
okay.
things that they thought would happen didn't happen.
Didn't?
And 90% of the things that really happened caught them just as off guard as the rest as they caught the rest of us. You
Wow.
know,
Mhm,
uh, one example, I guess, of something that was kind of forecast in a lot of different ways is
mhm.
right here. You know, pocket-sized computers. That you know, there were several. Oh, that was Dick Tracy's wristwatch. this radio wristwatch.
Oh yeah.
That goes back at least into the early 50s.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot that's there,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a lot that was entirely missed.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the things about this was this was supposed to be just a remote unit that was talking to the main computer somewhere. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not the whole damn thing all by itself.
Yeah, well, it does all of it, apps and
Yes.
all.
Yeah.
But there was,
And it even listens and points out ads for stuff I can buy all the time.
there was a TV show that William Shatner did. I think it was early 2000s, and it was pointing out how today's world was the Star Trek back in the day. That's when we had flip phones. We didn't have our computers. We didn't have these. We had the flip phones, which is what they used to flip open to beam me up, Scotty.
Yes.
And even if you go and you look at it now, the little things that they had on their uniforms, and they could push on them or whatever, and it would. We've got that. So yeah. That's kind of what it takes for the level of prosperity. But yeah. SurvivorsCircle 099 at gmail.com. You can email Charles. He answers those emails. You can send him porn. Be all right. He'll take it. The orgasms and the lollipop. He'll be good.
I have good secure wear.
Yeah, there you go. Just go ahead. Well, thank you everybody for hanging out with us tonight. It was good to see the regular crowd.
It has been fun. I'll let you get in before you catch frostbite.
I still got the heater on. It's on my feet. It's just in the 50s. It's not in the 20s. So we're good.
I'm not sure what it is here. It says it's 48 degrees here.
All right, now you're going to have to make me look. Let's see what it is here. Kentucky Mesonet. Right now it's 55. So it's not bad. If the wind's not blowing, the wind's been blowing all day long, so it's always made it feel colder. Now it's 55 and it's not that bad. Tomorrow it's supposed to get up to 70. I'm excited. Yeah, there you go. Where was Ron tonight? Ron bailed on us. And Bobby. Ooh, something's going on. Conspiracy against us.
True. Bobby didn't even show up today, did he?
I guess we better check on Bobby, make sure he's still alive. Because, if you don't check on him, he gets his feelings hurt.
That's true.
Bobby's a sweet kid, but anyway. Everybody's a kid to me because I'm freaking old.
Oh, good. There was something.
Yeah.
I had something. I was thinking, yeah, dude, that's because you're old.
Yeah. V said she forgot to untie them. So, all right. Well,
ooh.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. Yes. Oofy convinced them to take a bite out of the apple.
That's right.
And now Bobby's headed for New Orleans, and I don't know where Ron's headed for the casino.
There you go.
So it has been a great evening. Nice hanging out. Wonderful time hanging out with you guys.
Mhm.
And just, we are just going to let it go tonight. Thanks for hanging out with us. And we will be back next week. God only knows what we're going to do, but we'll have fun.
Yes. Good night, everyone.
Bye bye.